A lot of great information to get to tonight and entertainment. Where else can you get that? But we'll start with a discussion about technology. Roll it, Kyle. We talk a lot about what happens in Baton Rouge, some of the positive stories going on here. There's so much about what's not working, but I think the scale is heavier on the side of things that we do have working, and I've got one great example for you today. Joining me on the show is Charles Smart with IBM. Now, they just celebrated this 10-year anniversary. Let me run through some of what they've gotten done in the past 10 years. They have exceeded their hiring commitment to East Baton Rouge Parish by 110%. Pretty good, right? $317 million plus in cumulative wages for Baton Rouge, and has supported over 2,100 new and indirect jobs just here in East Baton Rouge Parish. Not bad.
2150, not that we're counting.
Yeah, 2150.
All right,
Clay. That's right. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful ride.
Yeah.
So we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary.
Right.
We had a very difficult task, right?
Yeah.
Coming to Baton Rouge, launching a center. If anybody's seen the IBM building downtown, right? Beautiful building, raised it up, moved in. We had a goal of getting to 800 FTEs, and we've exceeded that. And like you said, we're at 110%. More important than the number is the lives.
Yeah.
It's the employees. I always like to say that we have the best team on the planet, and I really mean it, Clay.
Well, it's so interesting, and I'll go back to the beginning because I remember all of the fanfare when it was announced that IBM was coming to downtown Baton Rouge.
Right.
And the question is why? Why did you choose Baton Rouge, your company that could be anywhere in the country with your locations? Why our city?
Well, when we launch a center like this, and I also, in addition to leading Baton Rouge, I lead the 7 centers in North America, including in Canada. We do a very elaborate, I'm sure you would know, right, based on your experience, analysis.
Yep.
And Baton Rouge won us over. It won us over on the numbers and in our heart. And so we did some special startups with LSU, Baton Rouge Area Chamber, Baton Rouge Area Foundation, and of course Louisiana Economic Development. They really invested to get us started.
Yeah.
One of the things I've found really in launching centers like the one in Baton Rouge, first couple of years are the hardest part.
Yep.
Right? Getting a team, getting to maybe the first 100 employees, getting everybody to believe, and then it begins to grow on its own. And that's where we are today, is we have a great workforce, not that we're perfect, but loyal employees that are constantly recruiting their friends. We have a lot of aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, even a few wives and husbands that work for us, and it just begins to grow.
Yeah.
So we had a great deal from Baton Rouge. We're living up to our piece of it, and absolutely feel that we've come up with a term called the Silicon Bayou.
Yeah.
Right? We really feel that we've
Silicon
attracted a lot of
Bayou.
talent into the state and to Baton Rouge.
That's not too bad, man. The
Yeah.
Silicon Bayou. You know, when I travel, I like to tell people, because people will ask about Baton Rouge, and outside of LSU and Southern and football, there's a lot to like about the city, from the food, the culture, the way we do actually stick together when times are trying.
Exactly.
When you are talking to colleagues or people who work with your company in other parts of the country, what do you tell them about the Red Stick?
Well, first of all, it is all about our recipe.
Yeah.
Right? So, we love where we're at, and
Right.
we love the food. We say food is love in my office. And we really do have the right recipe, right? It starts with our relationships with Baton Rouge Area Foundation, LSU, BRAC, everybody in town that supports us.
Yeah.
Of course, the Louisiana government. But then we have the secret sauce, right? The secret sauce is where we live.
Yeah.
An excellent place to raise a family,
Right.
to be a part of. And then finally, are the best employees on the planet, right? That's the secret.
Let's talk a little bit about your investment in volunteerism. You and your team dump a ton of people hours into the community. Talk about that.
So we boast that right now we have over 500 volunteers within our workforce. And there's a big byproduct to this. If you want to feel good about who you work for, you volunteer with that. So we get out in the community. We work with a lot of different organizations. In fact, right now we're having our, what we call it, the month of impact.
Yeah.
And we're encouraging all of our employees to get involved in some community service. That byproduct, really what I've learned in Baton Rouge is, we're doing it to help others,
right,
but it really helps us build a better workforce that believes and works harder and helps our clients more,
right,
because they're happy in where they live and what they're doing.
I love this. Where can people learn more about what you're doing at IBM, or if they want an employment opportunity, how can they find out about that?
All right, first of all, I'd say www.ibmlouisiana.com. It doesn't get easier than that.
Right.
And then you can just Google IBM and you'll be able to find us.
So listen, we got to set up a time to get me into the building to see what y'all got going on behind the walls over there. Can we set that up?
Absolutely, let's do it. Maybe next week.
I love it. I love it. All right, Charles,
Thanks,
thank
Clay.
you for what you're doing here. Coming up next, we'll talk about a big story that's been covered in other parts of the country as well that deals with juveniles and detention here in the state of Louisiana. And then Kiana Linnell will be here at the end of the show to just favor us with that amazing voice. And then I'm going to introduce you to someone who's using his purpose to change lives, and it involves pizza.